Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video on Bitcoin. We're going to do a full update on the current situation, both technically but also fundamentally, what's going on, what to expect, etc. I have to say, Bitcoin is in a bit of a tricky situation right now. There's just in general a lot going on. Something I've shown you for the last week or so is that the VIX, the volatility index, is still very, very high. This is the first time in a very long time that I've seen an uptrend like this. The last time was the 5th of August. And just in general, the situation right now resembles a lot of what we had the 5th of August, which if you don't know, back then we had the unemployment rate, which came in much higher than expected. So then we got recession fears, and now we kind of have the same thing. We have some recession fears, and back then it disappeared relatively quickly. Right now, it might still take a bit longer, because if we look at the S&P 500, what I expected, and I still think that there's a realistic possibility for that, but what I expected is that the levels we're at right now, which is a major support level, as you can see historically, I expected some strong support from there. And so far we have actually held that, but you can see pre-market price is already trading lower. And just in general, there still is a lot of uncertainty about what to expect. Mainly from the U.S. economy and the ongoing trade war, or whatever you want to call it, but that's one of the key reasons that's pushing the market down. And I've told you already, and that also creates a very interesting scenario and situation for Bitcoin, is that Bitcoin is actually holding up relatively well. There's a bit of a divergence between Bitcoin and the regular traditional financial markets, in the sense that regular markets actually made lower lows and Bitcoin made higher lows. So that's a great thing, but ultimately, and you can see this right here as well, what we talked about yesterday when we got that positive inflation rate data already. If you haven't forgot, that was yesterday. What I said back then as well is that, all right, well, the news is great, but now we actually need some real buying coming in. To get a breakout above 84,000, which seems to be the most important resistance level here, and to actually get some sort of bullish continuation, and to form some sort of a consolidation, because that is what Bitcoin is trying to do. We're trying to find a support strong enough to actually find stability on top of that, like we did right here, like we did for the majority of 2024, and then from there we can actually have some good trading, and you might actually be able to accumulate some Bitcoin again if you think that is the bottom. So that's what we're waiting for, and right now I am not fully convinced yet that we have found that bottom, and I think that depends a lot on the fundamentals, but right now, not even being able to break above 84,000 here, you can see technically, I mean, basically what we have done is we've held support here at 84,000. And then we drop down below that, and now we're retesting it. So I do think that's a must-do for Bitcoin right now, to actually find some stability. And until we do that, I'd say that there is still a very realistic possibility we'll drop down into this level right here at 73,500 and 69,000, for which I will be ready at the very least. But yeah, today we also have some economic data, and I'll tell you in a moment what I think is most likely, but we have some economic data as well, which I think you need to know about. PPI and initial jobless claims. Right now, I would say almost every economic data point matters because of the fear of a recession. So this data actually needs to come out more positive than expected. So keep an eye on that. I'll keep you updated on that as well in my middle of the day market updates. And then lastly, what I think is most likely is what I'll tell you right now. I'm not positioned in Bitcoin right now, so even though I think this is most likely, I'm not certain enough of the probability of this to actually buy Bitcoin. But I would say that, and that is still very much based on my expectations of the stock market, I would still say it's most likely we'll actually be able to get some sort of a bullish reclaim here, and that we will find some more stability, and get a move into 87, maybe even 89, 90,000 again, from which I will short. But that's my thoughts. But that's what I think you need to know for now. That's what I think is most likely based on my expectations of the broader market circumstances. But like I said, I mean, the only reason, or the only time I would actually trade this is if we get some more technical confirmation. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. So for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.